He is the face of wisdom, the embodiment of the Jedi Order. For 1,000 years, the name Yoda was synonymous with light, with guidance, with the unwavering defense of the Republic. This is the story we know, but history is a text written by the victors. And in the ashes of the Jedi Order, questions have lingered, whispers that have grown into a disturbing theory. A theory that suggests that the Grand Master was not a victim of the Sith's rise, but its silent, complicit architect. This is the story of the Yoda Conspiracy. The foundation of this theory begins not with malice, but with a profound and catastrophic failure of vision. By the final decades of the Republic, proponents argue the Jedi Order had lost its way. Under Yoda's long leadership, it had devolved from a spiritual order into a rigid political institution. Their connection to the living force, the very source of their power, had atrophied. It was not merely that the dark side clouded their sight. It was their own institutional pride that blinded them.
The dark side clouds everything. Impossible to see. The future is.
Was it impossible? Or had they simply forgotten how to look? They sat at the heart of the galaxy. It failed to sense the most powerful Sith Lord in a millennium operating directly under their noses. A failure so complete it strains credulity. A failure that rests squarely on the shoulders of the Grand Master. Then there is the matter of Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one, a boy with a connection to the Force more raw and powerful than any they had seen in generations. He should have been their greatest hope. Instead, they treated him with suspicion and fear.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
Conspiracy theorists posit this fear was rooted in jealousy. Anakin was a living mirror, reflecting the deep spiritual connection the council members had lost. Yoda's guidance to the boy was a series of platitudes about detachment, delivered to a young man desperate for compassion. He offered dogma to a soul crying out for a father. Was this incompetence? Or was it a deliberate, calculated effort to control and suppress a power they could no longer understand, and therefore feared? Some suggest Yoda and Mace Windu harbored secrets, perhaps a deeper understanding of the prophecy, an understanding they concealed from the rest of the council, fearing it would cause a schism. This leads to the darkest interpretation of the conspiracy, the fringe but persistent theory that Yoda's failure was in fact his design, that he was a master manipulator, perhaps even a secret adherent to a darker philosophy, who allowed the Jedi Order to be destroyed. In this version of events, Yoda recognized the old order was stagnant, corrupt, and beyond saving. He allowed Palpatine to rise, to become the destructive force that would purge the galaxy. The survival of Order 66 was not luck, it was part of the plan. His exile on Dagobah is seen not as an act of penance, but as a strategic retreat, a place to bide his time, hidden from his rivals as he waited for a new tool to emerge. His teachings to Luke Skywalker were different, less rigid, more spiritual. Was this the result of a profound personal revelation in exile? Or was he simply forging a better weapon? A Jedi unburdened by the flawed dogma of the old order, custom-built for a single purpose, to eliminate Palpatine and Vader, leaving the galaxy's power vacuum open for a new singular authority. The official history tells us Yoda was a great Jedi Master who made tragic mistakes, a hero who failed. But the whispers of the conspiracy suggest a more chilling possibility. They ask us to reconsider everything, to look at the fall of the Jedi not as a tragedy, but as a controlled demolition, to question the true motive of the little green master who held the fate of the galaxy in his hands. Was he the guardian of the light, or the shadow that allowed the darkness to grow?